Hello and welcome to the OverShadow ShadowCast with your host Thomas Anderson and Abigail Mort.
What is that noise?
I've just noticed that, on YouTube, very few people start a podcast as they mean to go on for a long time, which is just like this. It's a normal conversation, right? Most people, especially our age, they bounce in, they vibrate into the podcast.
I've literally only watched one podcast on YouTube. Well, it is a podcast as well, but they also have something on YouTube, and they are just the same tone throughout the entire thing. So
Right. I don't mean podcasting, sorry. I meant YouTube videos. They normally bounce in. Yeah, guys, how you going? It's a great day. We got a message off for you. And it's sort of like that American system.
that sounds very English.
Why not just be more honest and just turn around and say, how you
Hello.
doing? Here's the next one. Are you ready?
This is what's happening today.
Let's go. But then maybe I see, because that's the thing. If you look at the news, the BBC News.
Is this because at the before we started this, I said, listen, can you stop doing this where you start a sentence like this and you get really quiet and then you start a sentence. Is this why you're commenting on this?
No, I just noticed it from watching other YouTube videos that they come bouncing in like is it Jack Paul or something like that?
Jake Paul.
Yeah. Or is it his brother?
Logan Paul.
Yeah, Logan Paul, where he was just running around the screen screaming his head off.
I think that's probably Jake Paul. Jake Paul's the younger one. Logan Paul's the older one.
Right, Jake then. But I didn't even watch the video itself. It was just, I think I was watching it was a conversation about YouTube videos. And this was used as an example of someone
because
who's
his
mentally ill.
demographic is very young. When I say very young, I say like preteen/early teens.
Yeah, that makes sense. Whereas we're trying to just appeal to anybody that has a brain.
We like to appeal to anybody who would like to listen to us.
Well, the people who have brains.
Don't say that. I do not agree with that sentiment.
Why?
Because you're saying that there are people out there with no brains that will just consume anything. That's not right.
Well, there are people out there who function as if they have no brains and will consume anything.
That's his opinion, not mine.
I think that people can belittle and debase themselves.
Can we move on from the Paul brothers? Because I do not watch their videos at all.
I think that I was watching the news as well, and the news is very much like what we do. It's very calm, organised, they have a conversation, right? But it starts off with this post-apocalyptic techno music thing that comes in. You know, the BBC News. You're just like, what?
That's just their theme tune.
Exactly, but that's what it leads into. And it says, "Good afternoon, this is the news."
I like it.
Oh my, yeah, I know, but it sort of covers up for the fact that they're kind of just having a conversation with you. Just you don't join in.
The idea of a theme tune is to grab people's attention, and that grabs people's attention.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm trying to say is that it does somewhat cover up for the fact that they're not really... They talk like we do, right? But they don't do what the other guys... They're not bouncing around the room saying, "Oh my God, Iran, blah, blah, blah." They do what we do. But that theme tune sort of covers up for it, because when they start, it sounds like they've just decided to execute a couple of hundred people. It sort of like throws you off a bit.
I've literally never been watching the news going that deep dive into thought of that. My brain doesn't work like that in the news. My brain is like, oh, here we go, more sadness, more drama, and then I go watch something else. We've gotten very somber.
The news is an opportunity. Start the techno music.
Speaking of lightheartedness, this week I have been playing Battlefield 1.
Oh my God. Okay.
We spent 3 minutes talking about the news.
Yeah, that's...
just the news theme tune.
You've lightheartedness this up, haven't you?
Yeah.
So what have you been doing in that game?
Well, I think you can play campaigns in it.
Right.
I've not explored a lot of it. I've just been doing the campaigns, because that seems to actually have a cohesive story where I can go at it. Because I think I've talked about it before, where you kind of like launched into the game. It's like a tutorial bit at the very beginning, where you play as loads of different characters in a very short space of time.
Yes.
And the idea is you do not survive in that segment, and then you get launched into a campaign, and where you actually get like a cohesive storyline.
Yes, so my question is, you're saying campaigns. Why are you saying campaigns?
Because that's what they're called.
No, but what's they? Because like Halo has a campaign, you just do the stories. So why are you saying
There's
campaigns?
multiple campaigns.
And what makes them different from each other?
Different people.
You play as different.
And
people.
also you're in a different situation. I've only just finished the first campaign.
Right.
I'm on to the second one, and already it's quite different.
Right. Okay.
Because the campaign I've just played, it started at the very beginning. You play as a character I'm trying to remember his first name now. All it was throughout the entire
Just
thing was
describe him.
Edwards. You play as a guy as Edwards, who is a driver, who was a driver before the war started.
Right.
And I think he drove for fancy people.
Right.
He was a chauffeur, basically.
Uh-huh.
And he gets called in because he's got driving experience with working at cars to drive, I think they call it a Black Bess, which is one of the armoured vehicles in World War One. It's basically a tank.
Right.
You're driving a tank.
Okay, so chapter 1 is a tank. Right.
Yes. And it's fun, but it's also very frustrating because you can only take so much damage in this tank, and you have to repair it by holding down, I think it's left bumper, the
Right.
left bumper button.
Right.
But you have to be still in order
Stationary.
you have to be stationary for this thing to be able to repair it.
It sounds a bit like the Mako from Mass Effect.
Okay. But I think people are still launching grenades and things like that at you, so you need to get away from that. But you have to do like like a little emblem comes up of like a spanner and then a circle, and it has to get filled up before you're even able to repair a little bit.
Oh, right, okay.
So you're constantly having to move, and that is so annoying, especially if you're not used to playing those kinds of games.
Right.
Which I'm not. So the first time I played that, I was like, oh my god, I got no idea what I'm doing. I just like,
Oh my god!
oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what's happening.
Somebody help me!
I have no idea what's going on.
And Mrs. Doubtfire, help is on the way! Comes flying across.
Oh, I love that. So for most of it, you are in Bess, and you are going about, and you're introduced to some other characters, and basically you are just fighting off the Germans in France.
So can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
Why have you written down Battlefield 5 on your notes?
Because that's the story we're going to be writing.
So, okay.
This
so that's
is
not nothing to do with it?
No, I just make notes about the news items because
Okay.
I will not remember those off the top of my head.
Fair enough. I've been playing lots of different games.
I've not finished what I was saying.
Starting
There are
from-
elements where you leave said tank and you are first person shooting.
Ooh! Yeah, there'd have to be, otherwise an entire campaign of tankiness is not going to work.
No.
Yeah.
And I started the second campaign. I'm not going to let you know how the first campaign ended, but they are very good at giving you facts about the First World War, which I quite like.
Yeah. Well, considering what the story we're going to be talking about, maybe some of those should be double checked.
Yeah. And then the second campaign I've just started, it's airplanes. So you're flying.
I think I've seen bits of that, yeah.
Which is very... And I was like... I had inverted the flying controls.
Uh-huh.
But for some reason it was still like if you aim up, you go up. If you aim down, you go down. I don't like that. I like if you aim the stick up, you go down.
Yeah, I think what's happened there is, did you invert the flying controls or did you invert the controls?
No, I inverted the flying controls. So I had to go back and uninvert it.
Yeah, uninvert, because that's normal. Because if you actually have a flight stick, it's pushed forward.
Yeah,
to go
but I
down.
didn't think that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I fixed that, and I've managed to blow myself up twice so far.
Yeah, you just call in the...
But you can have different tactics when you're in first person shooter. You can either sneak through or you can just blast your way through. I decided to do the sneaky thing, because I needed to learn like new tactics.
Yeah, you needed to know how to sneak.
And I learned how to lure people to me.
A good piece of news for you then is that the original Splinter Cell game is now backwards compatible.
All right, don't know what that is.
Splinter Cell, I think, was probably the first stealth game that I played. Are you done with Battlefield?
Yes, I have now given you... Oh, do you want me to tell you how if I enjoyed it or not?
The first storyline.
I enjoyed it when I got the hang of it. I think I have been playing it on easy mode though. Because I've never played a game like that before. So I might go back and play it in difficult. Or normal and then difficult.
I would play the second story in normal and then the third one.
I am playing the second. I am doing the second one
that's
in normal.
a good way of doing it.
Because I forgot I could change it.
And if you felt to find normal is getting as easy was, then you go up again.
I didn't find easy that easy.
Yeah, but if
So it took me a long, because during the campaign, I think it was halfway through the campaign, I think I finally learned all the controls, although I kept accidentally launching grenades.
Just lobbing grenades at people.
No, actual it was more like a, it's not, I don't know what kind of, it is a type of grenade, but it's one that's got like a handle and it's got like a base. It's got like a cylinder base.
Right.
It is called a grenade, but I don't know what kind of grenade it is.
Base.
Yeah, hold on, I'll draw you a picture. Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, I'm wondering what you mean by a base.
It looked like that.
I think it's upside down.
Don't care, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's got a steel handgranate.
They called it a grenade.
It's German.
They called it a grenade.
Yeah, I know, but it's a German design, I think, and it has a handle to make it easier to throw.
Yeah, well, I kept lobbing those at everybody by mistake.
Handgranate.
But I wasn't lobbing them at people, I was lobbing them a foot in front of me. So I was like having to leg it.
Yeah. Probably run over the top of it.
But what I was trying to do was not panic whenever anybody saw me. I would like go up to them and literally just melee them.
Aye, that's a good thing to do.
Yeah. I found a mace.
Like a medieval mace?
No, it was like a German mace. I don't know, some type of German war mace. It looked like this.
A German war mace?
I don't know what it's called.
What were the Germans doing in World War One?
I don't know what it was called. Hold on, I'll draw a picture.
A German war mace.
It was like quite skinny. It kind of just looked like this. Like a really skinny one. It almost looked like a walking stick. Like a fancy walking stick.
Right, so it's probably just a small mace.
Yeah. But it was like a German mace or something like that. That's what
Can I
it's
just
called.
ask, a German war mace? Do you get non-war maces? Just maces that are used for like gardening or something like that. I need to take this tree, a couple of branches off the tree. Get me the gardening mace. I mean, what else is there than a war mace? I don't get... I need to change the channel on the TV. Just bring the mace down on the controller.
Can't open this can of beans, get the bean mace.
Give me the bean mace. Like you get the women get the mace spray and it just sprays out loads of tiny
little
maces. Oh, we need the editing mace. You just smash it into your keyboard and it takes out all the bits that you don't want in there.
Oh, that'd be so much easier.
Bang, magic mace.
All the bits I haven't got because it's destroyed everything.
Do you get a medical mace? You come in with a broken leg and they just whack you with a medical mace and it heals.
Like your shoulders, like, was it popped?
Yeah, just whack it and it pops back in. So other than the German war mace, which I now really want to see, so it's a good thing I have this game myself. Have you been playing with anything else?
No.
Did you ever get the German war mace in the game?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's
cool.
what I used to kill people with.
Nice. Okay, that's good. So, have you got anything else to talk about?
No, I don't. That's all.
I have been playing multiple games. I've been playing Death Squared, very interesting puzzle game.
Yeah.
Because you have to, using the triggers and sticks, you have to control 4 cubes, moving them around the pathways with traps and stuff in them. Very, very scary, to get very difficult. Because very often, the thing that kills me the most is forgetting which stick actually controls which cube and running the wrong cube off the track and blowing myself up.
Well done.
Yep. I also started Gears of War Judgment with Brian.
Yeah.
Because we finished 3. And to put that into context, my friends finished 3 back in 2011.
Right.
And I finished 3 back in a couple of weeks ago. So, but the good news is, once we finish Judgment, there's only 4 left, and 4 came out in like 2015 or 16 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I do have it because I've got Game Pass, so we can just keep bashing through these on couch co-op or bed co-op, and we can hopefully get them finished.
Yeah.
I enjoy playing Gears on co-op with Prime. I've never played a Gears game single player. We also tried to have a look at. We also did have a look at recording the gameplay.
Yeah.
Because you've got the computer now. And we've found that there's one piece of equipment missing, because the team chat, it can record me but not you, because your audio file's outgoing, not incoming. So it's an output, not an input, so it can't record it. So we need to make an adaptation there.
Yeah, that was fun.
Well, I actually did have fun, but if you're going to moan about it...
I will always moan about it.
Yeah, you moan about But yeah, I don't really have anything else to talk about, so just move on to the news.
Yes.
EA have stated that there will be no microtransactions in FIFA at launch. That they were asked
FIFA
whether
20.
or not... Yeah, in FIFA 20 at launch. Now, they have been asked whether or not there will be some later on, to which they've said, we're not going to answer that because we haven't really made any definitive decisions. We're not going to make decisions like that. We're always going to adapt it and try to make it as good as possible, so we don't really know what we're going to do with it.
Right. What kind of microtransactions do you find in FIFA?
It's packs for FIFA Ultimate Team, loot packs.
Right, okay.
To give you players for your Ultimate Team so that in the online competitions you're better.
Just like click while you spoke there.
Yeah, I did.
Gosh.
Yeah, I've been... is it Cosa?
Cosa.
Yeah.
Cosa.
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 I can't
do it. I don't know if that's the right one.
I can't have a go at it while you're screaming it in my face.
Sorry.
Cosa.
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 Cosa. Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa. So don't buy this. It's a lie, essentially. Because they've claimed this for previous games as well.
And they've done it.
And then they've added them in. Activision have done the same thing with Call of Duty. They've waited until after the reviews are out, and then a few months later, bing, come the microtransactions. Because it's for the hardcore player. They know that the kind of players that will drop off in the first few months aren't going to buy microtransactions anyway.
Yeah.
It's for the hardcore, because they want the people who spend 10 or 15 or 20 grand on it.
Mm-hmm.
And... so yeah, they will be adding them later.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
But it's just, so just pay attention to that. There's certain companies you can't trust with that because they aren't going to add them at launch. But there's a reason for that. It benefits them to add them later.
Yeah. And is this free? Is this on pre-order? Is it, by any chance?
Might be, actually.
Because that makes me think if they're saying there's no microtransactions, then people might be pre-ordering it if it's on for pre-order. I need to check that.
Yeah, but I think this is too obviously seen through, to be honest.
Okay.
I think most people will see through it. And anybody that doesn't will be less likely to buy FIFA 21. Because when that also promises not to have microtransactions at launch, they'll be like, nah, I don't believe you. So you said about the last one, and then you chucked them in a couple of months later, and the game was ruined.
Should we move on to the second piece of news?
Battlefield 5 has introduced a new elite character. Now, elite characters are characters that you can use in some multiplayer aspects of the game. They don't actually change how the game is played. It's sort of like a skin, basically.
Okay.
This character is called Wilhelm Frank. He is a German. Now, Battlefield 5 is set during World War II.
Yes.
So he is a Nazi.
Yeah, but I've also heard that they actually don't call them Nazis.
No, they don't.
And there's no swatch.
Yeah, they took all that
stickers.
stuff out.
There's just the German crosses.
Yeah, because they're trying not to make a...
Iron crosses, sorry.
They're trying not to make a political statement, apparently. But they're also claiming that the game is completely historically accurate, but there's zero Nazis in a World War II game. Is it just me that's confused?
No, my brain has just broken.
Yep. So he is a German, not a Nazi, because apparently they've removed all... It's really that easy. Just delete fascism.
Yeah.
Yeah, just boop. Oh, there we go. Because we can't tell the truth, because then that'll obviously make people Nazis. Why? Because fascism was so obviously correct. I mean, what's the argument here? We can't actually tell you the whole truth because it'll drive you mental.
Yeah.
Weird.
Strange.
So, this new character is called Wilhelm Frank, except there is a real Wilhelm Frank who was a resistance fighter in Germany against the Nazis in World War II. He and his family were killed in the Dresden bombings, I think after they'd been convicted of crimes. They'd been captured and convicted, so they were in prison or house arrest when they were bombed. So they were on our side and we killed them. Interesting, especially when you consider the original release and the interviews surrounding Battlefield 5. When Patrick Soderlund came out and said you have to educate yourself about the women in battlefield positions with the prosthetic limbs. You can educate yourself. These are uneducated. You've just accidentally put
I know.
A hero essentially on the wrong side of the war.
I know, it is just going to be one of those things where like this, you come up with a name and just so happen coincidentally matches somebody else, and it's unfortunate that that person was actually on the other side of the...
No, but they're happy to tell their fake stories as long as it pushes their political agenda.
Yeah.
But they're not willing to tell the real stories.
Yeah.
Are they putting this guy on the other side as a resistance fighter? No, they're just renaming him.
They're just going to change his name.
So they're trying to push their own agenda here. They're not trying to tell the truth. There's also, do you remember the Norwegian commando team? The really incredible commando team.
Yes,
that
I remember
took out a bridge or a dam.
Yes, we heard this for about 2 months. You're talking about this.
Yeah. Oh, pardon me. Wow. Anyway, so they were replaced with a mother and daughter team that took out the same thing, but they did it by gunning everybody down. The whole game, I think, from what I've seen, is based on individual campaigns, individual stories.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't work for you to then start changing them from the history and making them up, but saying we're having these in because it's historically accurate.
If you want to make something realistic, you need to make it realistic, and if you want to make a fake thing, you make a fake thing. You can't. You can take inspiration from reality. You
can even warp reality to create like
creative license.
A version of it. Yes, like so this is what really happened during blah blah blah, right?
Yeah.
But this isn't that. They've tried to make a historically accurate game and then just started faffing about with it.
Yeah, not good.
It's like saying we're going to make a historically accurate game, and in this game, the organisation that you play as always, they've actually got it's actually a reference. Their name is actually a reference to what they wear, so you're always wearing black suits. And it's a totally historically accurate game. What game is it? Men in Black, right? It's just ridiculous.
Well, like you said, they're going to be changing the name of the characters, so...
Yeah, but they do... How did they make this mistake after all that pretentiousness that they came out with before? Oh, you just don't know what you're doing. You're so uneducated. Wilhelm Frank who? He was a what now? Yeah, so we might be on the spot of bother here. That was a pipe, by the way.
Yes, I understand that.
Oh, just in case the James didn't.
In a weird way, it is kind of funny.
Yeah. It's funny that they made a mistake after all their preaching.
Yeah.
And they made such a big one.
Should we move on?
Yes. Game Pass Ultimate has sidestepped some PC Epic Games exclusivity deals.
Yes.
I think definitely the Outer Worlds, and I think Metro Exodus is included in that.
Mm-hmm. I think there's a few games.
Yes, and I think that I've not actually heard how they've done it legally, but I think it's because of the Ultimate Game Pass is on the PC. So you know how you're able to play PC games that are...
It's on the Xbox beta for PC.
Yes, so what I'm saying, I think that you're able to play Xbox games on the PC as Xbox games.
Yes.
Like Halo Wars, for example, as crossplay. You would be able to play this on the PC, on the Game Pass Ultimate, as an Xbox game. They're not selling it as a PC game. It's an Xbox game.
Yeah.
So the exclusivity deal is they've sidestepped it.
Yeah,
because they're also not selling the actual game. It's a service that allows you to play the game. They're not selling it. So again, it sidesteps it.
Yeah, because I know Metro was supposed to be exclusive to Epic Games Store until it was going to be launched on Steam in 2020.
Now you can just play it on the Xbox.
Would you like something to drink?
No, I'm fine, thank you. Now you can play it on the Xbox Game Pass on your personal computer.
So you just hear a silly voice. I also see a very scary face when you say that.
Yes.
Very intense.
Now, the Epic Games exclusivity deal has been sidestepped by Microsoft and with the Game Pass. And if you look at Gold in Game Pass, you actually get a lot for your buck.
Yeah.
I've actually summed up how the story of a pretty pro-consumer setup when it comes to Game Pass and Microsoft at the moment, especially with them buying all these smaller companies to try and fill the Game Pass.
Yeah.
Because it's actually a pretty good value for money compared with the anti-consumer practices of the Epic Games shop. I mean, they might be massively reducing their prices at the moment when it comes to games, but they're also making them massively exclusive, and the actual games Epic Games shop thing isn't very good. The actual game client launcher isn't very good at all.
No.
It's not as good as Steam, for example.
Yeah.
So, pro-consumer against anti-consumer. So I've summed the story up in one word. Now, would you like to read that word for me?
Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, ha, ha.
Just read the word properly.
Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha.
You just actually read it properly.
H-A. Are you happy with that? Is that okay for you?
No. I am now going to say
That is not mwahaha. That is just ha 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 ha. If you want mwahaha, then you put a M and a W at the beginning of it. Mwahaha.
an M and a W.
Mwahaha.
An M and a W.
Yes, mwahaha. Mwahaha.
Que pasaru.
You don't just put
That would have been better. That would have been better. Do it.
It's just the way you're looking at me makes me laugh. I've already laughed like about a bunch of different ways for you. Right, okay, that's enough. Can we move on now, please?
No, they're getting what they deserve. Right. They're getting what they deserve. Somebody found a workaround because they thought they were being smart when they were actually being thick. So they've paid all that money for an exclusive which doesn't exist.
Okay.
Let's go.
Assassin's Creed, what is there about that? Basically, Assassin's Creed have done your own, plot your own story.
It's sort of like, no.
Do you remember those books you had and you could
No.
choose your own story? That's basically what this is.
No, it's more of a. It's sort of similar to. What was it called now? Divinity, Original Sin 2. They had it was like a sort of make your own kind of story, which was it's honest, the whole thing's a bit more in keeping with sort of like D&D.
Yeah. I know what that
Make your own
is.
stories, Dungeons and Dragons, or obviously the Towers
I've never
of
played it.
Towers of
with
Clay.
Babel. I genuinely thought for a second when you called it Towers of Babel. That's a thing from the Bible, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that's about. I don't even know that story. I just know the title of it.
Towers of Clay is the game I am trying to make, but I'm getting zero help.
You said stop working on it.
I stopped working on it because I tried to pre-alpha test
You
it.
told me to stop doing anything for it.
I tried to pre-alpha test it with my chums, and only one of them showed any level of interest.
Was that me?
No.
You said you weren't going to play it.
Yeah, I know, because I tried to play it and I couldn't. It was when I went I was with the dudes, the guys.
Your
my
boys'
chums.
club.
We were out playing golf with the guys. No
When
girls,
was this?
No girls allowed. I'm joking.
I was going to say, when did you ever play golf?
It was a joke about.
When have you ever picked up a golf club?
I've played golf, but the point is that it was a joke about not letting girls in the club,
I was in a golf club once.
and they wouldn't try it. There's only one that was into it, and the others were just sort of like mocking. So I never got a chance to test it.
Oh, poor Tommy.
No, I'm a real man. I'm fine. Get away. But that's what it's like. Anyway, just put that down, yeah. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey has a story mode creator, which is free DLC.
Yes.
You can create your own stories and play those made by other people.
Yes.
To create your own story, you must have access to a PC or a laptop and have a Ubisoft... Oh, no, it's going again.
So what has happened there?
Yeah, and have a Ubisoft account, but stories can be played cross-platform.
Woo!
There will be a search function to enable you to find the stories you want faster. Using a PC or a laptop, you can save 20 stories to your story log, and there's like a pin-like system for another 250
Cool.
for ones that you're interested in. Stories that are available in your story log will be immediately available in game, I think, along with some sort of like automatically recommended or most popular will appear as well, if you haven't filled out your 20. 6 quest objectives are available, and historical characters are there. There are limitations to the characters, areas and creatures, length of dialogue, and there's a cap of 32 quests per story. Mm-hmm. It can only be so big, and you can only play about with certain
Can I also
assets.
add something to this?
Yep.
The story creator does actually come with a 157-page manual.
Yes, but a lot of that you can figure out just by playing, basically.
That's a lot of pages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just do a lot of figuring out. But yeah, it looks really interesting.
I tell you what, this would probably be like really interesting if you enjoy stuff like that. I would not.
Making your own story?
No, I prefer to have a story plotted out for me. You know, I don't like creating my own story. Even, like I was saying, I was joking about the books where you create your own story where you can go to pick up the page.
Those books?
I hated those.
I love those books.
No, I didn't like it because it's like, well, I can just go back and change it. It's the fact that I can change something during that story. I was like, well, that's just rubbish. I prefer to read a book. I might not like the end of the book, but I prefer to do that.
Well, this is not necessary. You can rewrite the main story, as it were, but it's actually more to just make up extra stories.
Nah.
So you can start up a story about maybe, I don't know, like a child
No,
trafficking ring or
it sounds really cool. It sounds really interesting.
Would you play the stories other people made?
Probably, yeah. But I just wouldn't want it because it's like you know what's happening, you know what's coming up.
How many stories would you make to make that a problem?
No, I'm just saying I don't like knowing what's going to happen.
Well, then don't play your own story.
But that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't make a story for other people to enjoy.
Maybe for other people to enjoy.
Evil woman.
For other people to enjoy, yes, but I would not play my own game. That's what I mean.
You'd probably have to alpha and be dead to test it as well.
Like, give them to you.
Oh, good.
I'm not going to do this.
No.
You're okay. You okay?
No! Padme.
Did you say no, Padme?
Yeah. It's... yeah, that's interesting. I really like the look of Odyssey. I do very much genuinely wish to be playing that game.
Should we move on to CyberPunk?
Yeah, let's do, because this is quite a big part, right?
This is a very big story, apparently.
CyberPunk 2077 is... Criticism has been levied against the game. Its make-up, descriptions, and choices surrounding character accents and word pronunciations.
Well, I saw that they were also... Because there's 2 gangs in it.
Aye.
And one's called the Voodoo Boys, and I can't remember what the other one was called.
The Animals.
The Animals, yeah.
So the Voodoo Boys want to go through sublimation. They want to ascend into being like bodiless, purely digital, right?
Okay.
And the Animals, I assume logically, want to go the other way. That's why the Animals is a pretty good name. You know, like a biological construct. They want to veer away from all the artificial stuff, right?
Oh, right, okay.
Logically. Or, at the very least, they don't want to become DLC on a wiki page. They've got very angry, some journalists, because apparently a lot of the people who got shot in one of the videos that they made who were in the Animals were black. So they saw a white character that was opening fire on a group of black people called Animals.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case. The gangs are all mixed race, but also, you know, as in they're all different types and racial ethnicities and origins. But there's the fact that this city is supposed to be mostly mixed race, so everybody's going to be non-white, because you can't be white if you're mixed race. It's the one thing you're not allowed to be.
Okay.
Culturally speaking, a child which is 50, if I had a child with a black lady, that child would be either mixed race or black. You would never describe that child as white, even though half of its genome is white. Even if a child is majority genetically white, you'd probably still refer to them by the minority component.
Yeah.
I think it's a veerance towards supporting minorities. People edge towards trying to look for the oppressed part of a human being.
Mm-hmm.
So you edge away from ever calling anybody white, if there's any reason not to.
Okay, yeah, I think I get it, yeah.
So in this context where everybody in the game, a lot of people in the game, most of the game is mixed race, there aren't going to be many white people. Because you have to be pure white before anybody on either side of the argument considers you white.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them will be gone. So, of course, a lot of the people that you're going to be shooting in these gangs are going to be non-white. Because there's not any other option.
Well, like you said, the actual gangs are all mixed race. No, a mix of races.
Yes. And a mix of mixed races.
Yeah.
Or however you want to say.
So they're not everybody in the gang's black, not everybody's in white, not everybody's
Hispanic or Asian or anything like that. It's all mixed up.
Okay. But they're just angry at the fact that the video they showed to promote it showed black people getting shot.
Yeah. It's sort of the same thing as wanting, I think was it Battlefield or something like that, wanted women to be immortal. Oh no, it was Call of Duty or something. Oh, I can't remember, but it was one game that got annoyed that a girl died in it, and you're sitting thinking, well, insane.
Yeah.
It's sort of the same thing as they're looking for. Oh,
I can see their point. I can see both points.
No, but that's the point. That's the point I'm making. Of course, you can draw that conclusion, but it's also perfectly reasonable to draw the other one. So they've decided that it's racist because it can be construed to be racist.
Okay.
That's not the question here. The question is it racist? Not, is it possibly racist? There's like a gap there. There's a jump that they're making. That was the issue that they had with the gang makeup and the descriptions of the gangs. There was also criticism surrounding choices related to character accents and weird pronunciations. So somebody decided that it was probably racist that the subtitles have when the person says them, it says them in the subtitles. So them instead of them.
Yeah.
And the character then puts on a mocking accent and says, who are them? And he was trying to say, well, that's racist. And I was like, well, what's your point here? Is it the fact that it says them, or is it the fact that the guy says them? Because this is the issue here. The character doesn't have to be white.
There's people I know that says them, they don't say them.
Well, I was trying to think it's true. As a Scottish person, a lot of our programmes get subtitled going to England. Right?
The most famous subtitle thing of all time is Trainspotting.
Right.
Where that gets subtitled no matter where it goes apart from Scotland.
Yes. And here's the thing. In some contexts, because we have two languages, that we have Scottish and Scots Gaelic, sometimes the programmes that we send around the world are translated.
Yeah.
Sometimes those subtitles are for translation purposes, in which case that's absolutely fine. But sometimes the subtitles are there to try and explain away an accent that people can't understand. And instead of writing at the bottom exactly what's said, they also translate the accent.
Mm-hmm.
And that I hate.
Yeah.
So I'm coming at this from the other side. I know what it's like to have your accent translated, and it definitely ruins a great portion of it, apart from it making you feel like a piece of something we can't say. It also destroys a part of what it is you're trying to create, because the ambience, the setting sort of disappears a bit.
Yeah. So the argument here is that people were it's phonetically, isn't it? That's how you describe it.
It's phonetically subtitled.
It's phonetically subtitled, which I think is okay.
If it's what the actual person said, yes.
Yeah.
The other part, of course, is the mocking of the person. He's mocking the person, not the person's race. He's mocking their pronunciation, not their race. He can have the same race, or she can have the same race as the person who spoke, and make fun of them. They're just trying to mock someone they don't like. That's the whole point of that cutscene.
I mean, you continuously mock me for how I speak.
Exactly.
We're both as pale as they come.
Mock. Yeah.
It's like when you asked me, would you like something to drink? And I said, oh, can I have some water? And you were like, oh,
have some water. Have some water. You know, there are other letters in that word. No, have some water.
It's like, I remember once in secondary school, and we were doing a first aid course, and we were going to be learning CPR the next week.
Super.
And the instructor said, you might want to bring a spare pair of trousers because, you're going to be kneeling on the floor. And I'm like, the flower? I'm like, are we going outside? Is he talking about flowers not just me, every other person in that room went, "What are you saying?" And it's because where they're from in Scotland, they say
Highlands and Islands.
Fleur is floor.
I would guess either Highlands and Islands or possibly even Shetland.
I don't know, but that's how they say. That's how they say floor, like a FLOOR. That took a lot of concentration for me to be able to spell that.
Well, in Shetland, I believe it is Shetland where they pronounce four as in four. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I love the Shetland accent. It's so pretty.
I don't really care. But anyway, in response to all this anger, there'll be more now because we've said for and fleur. And all sorts of nonsense. And dem. We've protected the Demers. The Democrats. Anyway, someone posted this online. I've written someone posted online this.
Welcome to my world.
Which is a wee bit sing-songy, don't you think?
Please don't start singing.
I have a beautiful singing voice.
It's nice that you think that.
It's just as long as no one's listening. Someone posted this online.
If a Tommy sings in the forest and no one's around to hear him, does he actually make a sound?
If a Tommy sings in the forest and no one's around to hear him, does anybody cry?
With happiness, yes.
Someone posted this online, right?
Yeah.
CyberPunk 2077 is a dystopia because 58 years have passed. That's from now, I think. And boring white men aren't extinct yet.
I don't get it.
Well,
this was in relation to the
fact that the main character is a white person in the gameplay demo. Do you want to know why?
No.
Most of the people, if this is a Polish company...
Yes, I want to know.
If this is a Polish company, most of the people who work in it are going to be white.
Yeah.
So the person's made a character that they think's pretty cool, maybe reminds them a bit of themselves.
Yeah.
Oh my god. White people are able to express themselves. I thought we covered this. The purpose of equality was not to stop white people or male people or straight people doing what they want. It's to stop other people from not being able to do what they want. Was that not the point?
Yeah.
That was the point, so that women could have equality, they could do the same things as men can, not to stop men doing them.
Yeah, but again, I do see it from the other person's perspective, is the fact that there is not a lot of variety in main characters in games and movies and television. It's getting there, but it's still heavily more white people than it is anybody else.
Yeah, see, I have a problem with that, because can you tell me how many video games have a Scottish main character?
That one you played where you could choose it.
Exactly. And that's the point, because we're white.
Sorry,
we are expected to just put up with the fact that we can play as an Englishman or an American.
Yeah, that does bug me.
And
that does bug me. So that's how I can understand it, is the fact that I don't feel represented in all these games.
Yeah.
That I've just started playing. So yeah, it would be nice if we had a different variety of white Americans.
I just point out that there are some really fantastic game
English
characters.
Men.
Like Lara Croft in the Tomb Raider reboot, or I love the character in Remember Me. I thought they were brilliant female characters.
I'd like to have a female character who isn't solely represented in Lycra.
Yeah, good luck with that. So just to point this phrase, Cyberpunk 27 is a dystopia because 58 years have passed and boring white men aren't extinct yet. That's either a threat or more likely it's
not a threat.
Well, you see, that's the problem here, right? Is that how is it not a threat?
Not going around going, I'm going to kill all white people.
Well, that doesn't have to be that simple. If you ask this person, will they fight against a dystopia, they'll say yes. But they think dystopias are caused by the existence of white men.
I could believe that.
Yeah, but that means you have to get rid of all the white men.
Bye! It's been nice knowing you.
So yes, it's not that difficult to construe that as a threat, although by itself it isn't. But even then, what they say, if I have children with a white woman, right? Does that mean that those children are going to be something that they need to get rid of? Or is it something that if they still live in 58 years, they'll be making the world a worse place just because of their skin colour?
You have read too much into this.
No, look, it says it right there. Cyberpunk 27 is a dystopia because boring white men aren't extinct yet.
I need to bring the page closer to myself. Where is it? Cyberpunk 2017 is a dystopia because...
77,
sorry, is because 58 years have passed and boring men aren't extinct yet. Right. Okay. I
know
even listening to that, I heard it as something else.
Well, I understand she's put boring white men aren't extinct, but I don't think she's qualifying it. I think she's describing it.
Right, okay.
I don't think she's qualifying that we need to get rid of boring white men. I think she's saying that white men are all boring and we need to get rid of them all.
No,
Why is it that people can read into the fact that some of the characters that get killed are black, that's racist, but as soon as somebody says we need to kill all the white men, extinct yet, we need to get rid of them all, that can't be construed as dangerous. Like, I don't understand how that sentence can't be seen as being sexist. Of course it can.
Sexist?
Of course it is. Sexist and racist because it's white men. That is a genocide if you actually got rid of white men, right? So what I'm trying to say to you is, she might have meant something else, he might have meant something else, they might have meant something else. But the difficulty here is, you can easily construe that as being not necessarily a threat, but an evaluation that this person's opinion, the problems of the world are caused exclusively by white men and they need to be gotten rid of. How else can you read what else can you read into that? What other explanation is there? So in this case, you can draw that conclusion. You can't draw many others, if any, but it's not racist. But when it comes to the other things, you can draw lots of other conclusions. It's much harder to draw the conclusion that they're drawing, but they're right and it is racist.
Yeah.
That sentence is just ridiculous. I haven't made up my mind yet.
I just don't understand it. Why?
This person's claiming that Cyberpunk 2077 is a dystopia because white men still exist in 58 years' time.
But why is she saying that?
It's in response to all the clear racism we've demonstrated in the past couple of minutes.
I think I need to go back and rewatch all the stuff from Cyberpunk 2077.
Do you know what? Do me a favour. Do me a favour, right?
Yeah?
Replace boring white men when you read this again. Read it out loud, please. With Jews.
I'm not going to do that.
Exactly.
No, I do understand that. Like, if you replace white with any other race, it would be deemed as racist.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
It's a good way of doing it. Remove the phrase with either black or Jewish. Yeah. To be fair, they're the groupings with the greatest amount of protection culturally when it comes to minorities being mistreated. Replace those phrases, white with that, and you end up with the same. Replace man with woman. It's a really good way of doing it.
Yeah.
That sentence would possibly have seen a custodial sentence for that person if it had been said about anybody but white men.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So, or at the very least,
this topic is very discomforting for me.
Discomforting?
Discomforting.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm very uncomfortable talking about this.
Right. Okay, so we move on to something even more complicated and elusive.
Yeah.
So apparently, there's also been backlash. There has also been backlash because of an in-game advert. Now, it's not an advert for something you buy. It's an advert in the game. Right?
Yes,
this is a generic advert.
For a drink.
Aye. Now, it's for a drink made of 16 flavours and the tagline is mix it up.
Yeah.
So apparently there's a trans element here. So I've heard that it might have been a clubbing scene phrase from the 80s or 90s. I've heard that the woman in the picture may be trans. From
what you can see in the picture, yeah.
What can you see?
I don't know what I can say.
I must have missed this because I really didn't. I genuinely looked at this and was lost the whole time.
I looked it up.
Uh-huh.
And I was thinking that this was like a repeated ad throughout the entire game. I don't know if it is repeated throughout the entire game.
It's there several times.
Okay. The picture I saw and people were describing it took me a long time, but I had to really look at it and people were saying you could see such and such because it's supposed to be I apologise if I get the terminology right. I honestly do not mean to get the terminology right.
You apologise if you get it wrong.
Wrong, sorry.
I apologise if I'm correct.
I apologise if I'm wrong, sorry. That it's a transgender woman in the picture.
Yes.
So it's a man who's transitioned into a woman.
Right.
And she's got short hair, and it's very clear looking at part of the picture that apparently that she is transgender, or she's transitioning at least, or she's a transsexual. I don't know. I don't know if they said if they said it was all I could see was trans. There was trans written down everywhere, so I don't actually know what that is reflecting on, but you could definitely tell that, or possibly it was a woman transitioning into a man. Everybody just kept saying the word trans. I think it was a transgender woman. And you could see something in the trousers.
Okay.
I don't know how much I could say to this.
Okay. No, that's fine. I get it. So the issue, because I missed that. I was looking at that picture. I didn't look up the picture independently. I looked at the clips the picture was in. So I
looked at the stills. And I tell you what, it took me a long time to actually see what they were talking about.
Yeah, I never noticed it at all.
And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I could. But then I was like, is that what that is, or is it just a design of the trousers?
Yeah, I did. I thought the woman that they had been used as the real life model for the advert was trans. So I got confused.
I don't know. I do not know that. But all I could see was the picture in it, and they were taking. They were saying that mix it up with 16 different flavors or 16 ingredients or whatever it was insulting, was transphobic.
Right. And CD Projekt Red's response was that was the point.
Yeah, they were trying to say that this is supposed to be a very sexualized world.
Basically, just like in our modern corporations will try to play to certain groups to get them to buy their product. So they have a trans person on the advert, and they have phrases of that ilk to try and get that grouping of people to buy their product. It's so that basically they've turned that person into a thing.
Yeah.
To try and sell.
Yeah, it's a marketing ploy.
And it's about how disgusting that is. So they have to actually have it in the game.
Yeah.
So yeah. I have no problem with that at all.
Because if you're saying that this is what's wrong with the world and you put it in your game,
that is exactly what would happen in real life. People would be used like that.
Yeah, you see that this is happening in a game, so you try and stop it happening in real life. I can understand that. I can understand why some people might take offence by it.
Well, I think that those people aren't really paying attention to the point.
I don't know.
No, they aren't paying attention to the point.
If you look into anything far enough, you get offended.
Yeah, that's the point. But there's also the point is just because you're offended doesn't mean it has to stop. That's a completely different question. Could you imagine if somebody tried to stop football because they found it offensive?
Oh, that football!
Yeah, it's so completely spherical. Get this game stopped or make it a cube.
It'd be more fun if they kick a
people
cube
just people just wouldn't listen.
No.
So, offence isn't the be all and end all.
I think if the idea is that you are trying to bring attention to the fact that something's wrong in a video game, I mean, by like you make a video game and you say this is wrong and this should not happen, we should appreciate people for who they are.
Do you know what actually I was just thinking about?
People are hyping on bandwagons and stuff like that.
Battlefield 5, where they've removed all the Nazi symbology. What does that teach the next generation? It teaches them absolutely nothing.
No.
In fact, if anything, it confuses them to the reality of World War II.
Yeah.
Just so that they can try and not offend people.
Yeah.
So I will fight to the death to ensure the right of CD Projekt Red to free speech.
Yeah.
As Voltaire said. I don't even disagree with them. I would think, CD Projekt Red don't agree with what the companies do in the real world. They're just mimicking it in a game and people are getting angry. So why aren't we stopping it in the real world? Because CD Projekt Red is an easy target.
I'm trying to think of something like in real world.
Can I just quickly...
Yeah.
There was also another backlash towards the fact that there was a couple of scenes with corporatist people in them.
What do you mean corporatist?
As in really high corporate boardroom people.
Okay.
And they were mostly white, or the people in the scenes that we saw, I think there was 2 that I saw and they were white. or one I saw and one I heard about, and they were white. And one was about you being betrayed by a group of thugs, and the corporate guy says, this is going to happen to you, and then lo and behold, the thugs betray you, and it's sort of like, if this is supposed to be subverting my expectations, it doesn't succeed. It's just, I think they were trying to say it's racist because the white guy warned you about all the coloured people, as it were. This idea of them being racist and trying to say, well, of course they're going to betray you, they're not like us or like me.
But here's the thing, this game has not been released yet, has it?
No.
So all we've seen is trailers.
Yeah.
Until, I think that this is, when people see a trailer for something and they shout about it, they yell about it, saying this is offensive, this is wrong, this, and they've not seen the TV show, the movie, not played the video game yet.
Yep.
You only know so much. They may go into this poster in the actual gameplay.
Yeah.
You don't know. So maybe there's something in there that they'll talk about.
Well, there was a second instance in the corporate game, in the game about the corporatists, where you actually get betrayed by a corporate person. And they didn't mention that in the media, the games journalism media. Mm-hmm. So what that really means is that it wasn't racist. It was warning you that in a cyberpunk dystopia, everybody has their own agenda and you can't trust anyone.
Yeah.
But that was overlooked because it didn't play into the narrative the journalists were trying to write.
The only trailer I ever find is okay where people jumped on the bandwagon was Sonic.
Yeah.
So that character design was
because it was a design and you could see the design. You could see it with your eyeballs.
Yeah. But this was literally like a snapshot of a still from the game.
You don't even know what the story is about.
And it had to be zoomed in.
I mean, Brian was telling me about this. Currently, CD Projekt Red is working hard on including trans options in Character Creator. So I think currently you can go either gender and you can go any race.
Yeah.
And what they're trying to do is add in trans options so that like you can have a woman with a man bit or a man with woman bits.
You can customize the body to how you want it to be.
I think they're working really hard on that.
That's a really good idea.
Here's the question for you, right? Why would a company that's so pro-consumer, working so hard on inclusivity, be attacked in such a great way? Not great as in well done, but great as in large.
More people like to focus on negative things than they do on positive things.
No, it's because CD Projekt Red, the games media journalism, the written stuff, a lot of it is focused quite heartily on working with the big companies.
Yeah.
Because they pay for advertising and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they seem to be going after the pro-consumer company that is CD Projekt Red.
Yeah.
In a really undeserved manner. So it's almost as if they know people respect CD Projekt Red, so they're trying to show them, look, this is your hero in real life, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not really
working.
working.
The mask off.
It's not really working because CD Projekt Red are admitting everything they do wrong before they can get it out and then just saying, but we're working hard on it.
Yeah. And
then proving that they're working hard on it. So it's not really working. And Cyberpunk 2077 actually addresses the concept of transhumanism and trans issues, right? It actually addresses it. So that's why it's so easy to attack it. Because it's a game about a dystopia referring to trans issues. So of course the dystopia isn't going to treat them properly.
No.
So
it's
they
a warped
attack it
universe.
easily.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to get clickbait, basically. That's why they're attacking. Now, there's some people who genuinely do believe this, and I feel sorry for those people that genuinely believe this, because if you're that angry all the time, your life can't be that good. But when it comes to the gaming media journalism, it's really quite irresponsible for them to behave the way they are. Yeah. I know some genuinely believe it, but most are just trying to benefit themselves. And it's thankfully not working.
No.
I mean, a big thing about it is somebody like Keanu Reeves is not going to join in with a project if it's inherently racist.
No.
There's also the fact that, I know I hate using this excuse, but I do think it's important. One of the game's lead designers is a man who has worked on not just video games, but he's mostly worked on board games like D&Ds and that sort of thing. And to not put too fine a point on it, but he's a black guy, and I just don't think a black guy is going to write a really racist story.
No, I don't think so.
I just don't. It's just if we're all inherently racist, then that includes black guys. So he's going to write a story about how white people are. I just don't understand that. They're trying to claim a motivation because they assume CD Projekt Red is made up entirely of white men.
Yeah.
It's obviously not.
No.
And while I don't like to use the black guy defence, like, oh, my friends are black, I do think there is a relevance here in that a lot of the attacks are based on the assumption that that the crew that made this game is basically just white men.
Yeah.
And that for me was really disastrous for their argument because they've never really made that point properly.
Mm-hmm.
So when CD Projekt Red are able to say, actually, no, we have a diverse group of people working on this game, and it turns out they do, it kind of massively destroys the argument of the opposite side, and they don't address it, and I think that's key. They don't address that point. They totally skip over it. So it's not a black man defence. It's not saying, look, this guy's black, so that verifies everything's okay because we've got the token black guy. It's more a case of if you don't address the diversity inherent in the group that you're attacking for not being diverse, it's like you don't know what you're talking about and you're deliberately ignoring some facts that are inconvenient. So it inherently weakens your argument.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's almost as if they don't realise a dystopia that involves trans elements is going to have things deliberately wrong in the game.
Yeah, because it's a dystopian future.
Yeah, and it's almost like they've overlooked that, and then you factor in the fact that there is a diverse range of people working on the game, and they just ignore that point. It's an inherently weak argument if these simple points can't be met. You know?
Yeah.
I do think it's a reasonable argument to say that most people won't write a story or work on something that is racist against their own identity.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Should we leave it there? Have you had
No. We're not going to, because there's another part to that story about the games journalism media. Media journalism games.
What is it?
The other part is that the full outrage that's drummed up, somebody who I don't like at all, who does that an awful lot.
Who?
You know the lady I don't like? Initials begin AS.
Anita Sarkeesian.
Yes. So clearly you're a big fan. She runs Feminist Frequency.
Yeah.
Which is...
That's what it says on the tin.
Yeah, but it sort of like does it in the way which sort of validates a lot of the arguments of... It does it in a sort of way that validates a lot of the arguments of the sort of people who would use the phrase feminazi.
Yeah, people who are...
She's hyper-aggressive. She looks for any tiny little possibly construed offence. She was the one who did a video about Hitman Absolution being sexist because you can kill strippers in the game. And that's because there are strippers in the game, and in that game you can kill whoever you want.
Yeah. I've played it.
Yeah, it's about getting to your target, and you can either do it stealthily or just shoot everything up.
Yeah.
So it's play it your own way. And she decided that because you could kill strippers at one point, it was inherently sexist, even though the majority of the people you kill are men, because they're security guards, mostly.
Yeah.
And security guards are mostly men.
Yeah.
So she decided it was sexist against women, because you could kill some of them. I'm a bit confused by that. So, apparently, you brought it up yourself, you saw that, where Anita Sarkeesian was offering her services to help fix CyberPunk 2077.
Yes. Because
it's going down the wrong path. Thankfully that wasn't taken up. But the reason for that, and the reason I'm linking it to this story about the...
This is the lady that had the Twitter war of somebody, wasn't it?
Probably. She probably has
I remember you telling me this was like almost a year ago, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did something weird. Anyway, she was involved in Gamergate, which I'm still not entirely sure what that is. If she was doing the primary reporting on it, she didn't do a good job. But this links back to why they're attacking CD Projekt Red, is they're doing it to try and get views and stuff like that, because
CD Projekt Red is a very well-known
company, but they're also tackling an issue that they can very easily twist to their own agenda.
Right.
So these people are twisting that to their own agenda, and they're trying to make money out of it, because Feminist Frequency, one of them, is basically going down. It's broke.
Is it?
Yeah. It's a not-for-profit, but it's broke. It only ever had like 5 people in it, and towards the end, 3 or 4 of them have been not paid. But now she's also not taking a wage anymore.
All right.
And that's why they're attacking this. It's why they've made that. Well, I'll help you fix it. That's really just an application for a job.
Okay.
That's why they're attacking it for clickbait reasons and to get funding. Because they're not for profit. They rely on donations. So that's why they attack, to make it look like they're doing something.
Yeah.
And they've been losing about $250,000 a year. So the start of 2017, they had 350,000 in the bank. By the end, they had, I think it was, they lost 150 to 250,000, so they were down to probably around about 150,000 or something, maybe 200,000, something like that.
Okay.
And then I think it was 150,000, sorry. And then the start of the next year, they had 150,000. So they lost another 200,000, 250,000, and now they're in the zero-ness. You know, what's it called, the red?
Yeah, because the black, if you're in the black, you're okay, and if you're in the red, you're in the danger zone. No, you're in the danger zone.
And so that's basically what's happened. That's what's caused these increasing attacks, because last year a video was released that included that Mix It Up lady. Nobody went mental about it until it came out in a different video this year, because they're in more financial trouble. Right. So that's what's happening, is that people are attacking it because they've picked the corporate side, and this is a game against rampant corporatism, but also they're running out of money and they need to drum up controversy. Yeah. So it's sort of things like they've only had so many thousand minutes watched, but they have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and it's sort of like doesn't gel. It's like each subscriber would be watching like 10 seconds for it to make sense, so a massive amount of their subscribers just don't watch. Yes. And they rely on donations, so they're just not getting those donations coming in, and they're spending all the money on God knows what. It seems to be on travel and wages, but some of the people there are not being paid, haven't been paid for a long time. So if women's issues and trans issues are so important, why aren't you paying the people a wage? Because she doesn't hire men; those are women there. So why? From what I've seen, I might be wrong there, but I didn't see a man's name when I had a look at this. So there could be one somewhere in a non-executive position or something like that, a T-boy or a secretary, but on the document I saw, I couldn't see a name that I would identify as male. I might be mistaken, but there was at least 80% women. Because the document flashed by in a video I was watching. Yeah. But I'd say very comfortably 80% women, most likely 100%. Mm-hmm. And it kind of strikes me as odd that she'd get away with that. Feminist Frequency, we're only going to hire women. How does that help? She's only hired women, from the looks of it, that agree with her and possibly her friends. So this is really just like a gang.
No, I do understand why she did that. I can understand why she would want to set up her own company just with women if she feels like women aren't, well, lots of people feel that women, including myself, feel that women aren't given equal opportunities in companies. Mm-hmm. I think that. But if I was to run a business, I would have both genders, or I don't know if that's the wrong terminology to use now. I'd have all genders, and have that equal opportunities.
If you want to use the phrase both genders, go ahead.
I don't know what the genders, race, anybody, I would hire anybody as long as they got the credentials I wanted, and everybody would have equal opportunity. So I don't believe in popularity contests. I don't believe that one person. I don't want to cause offense to anybody. One person, because they don't know, they're male or they're white or they're black, Hispanic, whatever has greater opportunity than the others. Everybody be treated equal. I believe in equality. And I don't believe in popularity contests. So I can So I do understand why she's created her own company. If it's in the red, then I could understand if the way to drum up more business for your company is to see something and talk about it.
Yeah, but the problem is she's supposed to be there to help push equality, and yet she's attacking one aspect of the gaming industry which is also pushing for equality.
Yeah. I don't agree with that. I don't
so
understand that.
It's a lie. It's a categorical lie. She is not trying. She's using that as a. It's just a job for her, and she has to keep it running to make money. That's it. It's just aggression that she can drum up into controversy. It might not be a deliberate lie, but it's not what she claims it to be, whether she necessarily believes that or not, is not what it is.
Yeah.
That's the issue here. That is the end of that story. I don't think there's anything else really to talk about.
No.
So we'll leave it there. There's a lot more in there, but nothing else that we can say at the moment. I'm looking forward to the game, though.
It looks like it's going to be a really fun game.
Yeah, it's
Especially
going to
with
be good.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
And I've literally... I'm trying to think of all the Keanu Reeves movies I've seen. Can't think of a single one.
Bill and Ted?
Nope.
Matrix?
Nope.
Point Break?
Nope. I don't think I've ever seen a
Parenthood?
Nope.
John Wick?
Nope.
Okay, we'll just give up.
He looks like a cool... Hold on, let me look up quickly to see if I've actually seen any of his movies. I probably have.
I'm going to try and sit here and see if I can remember. It was Bone Deep, or I think it was called that. Speed.
Nope.
Hardball.
It's in Toy Story 4, which I will be going to see, so...
Is it Kings of LA?
I
Or
don't
Street
know.
Kings or something like that? Siberia?
I don't know if I've seen that.
Ronin?
No. The ADR is still... I have seen yes, I have seen that.
Street
Constantine.
Kings.
Yeah, I've seen Constantine.
Constantine, yeah.
I really like Constantine.
Yeah, I quite like that too. I don't think it did very well.
So that's 2.
It's probably Shia LaBeouf's fault. Right, so we're going to say goodbye then.
Yes, we will.
So we hope that you enjoyed this. You can like and subscribe below, please do. You can leave a comment, please do as well.
I've seen that one.
That's the Devil's Advocate.
I've seen that.
After you've subscribed, you can click the notification bell so you can get our videos. You can be alerted to them once they're uploaded.
I was even talking about Bram Stoker's Dracula earlier.
Yeah, he's in
and I've
Dracula.
seen that.
He's in Dracula.
He plays Jonathan Harker.
Yep. You can follow us on Facebook at OverShadow.ShadowCast, and you can contact us through email at OverShadow.ShadowCast@gmail.com.
Yes, you can.
It's the most patronising thing I've ever heard in my life.
I was reading something while I said it.
Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed this, and we hope to see you again next week.
Yes. So I will say bye-bye.
Goodbye.